Hello and welcome to ZED Talks.
Hello. I'm so
I am
excited to
so
be here.
excited that I have got this amazing lady with me. Kristi, I call her SK because I can't pronounce her last name. She's going to tell you about herself. And Kristi and I met on LinkedIn. So some of you will know that I've had a bit of a LinkedIn binge recently, and I haven't had the desire nor maybe the gravity of understanding how important it is to network and to connect with great people. But there are some people you meet and you kind of go, oh my God, I'll fall in love with you, girl crush.
Here.
Wherever she is. And there we go. Like if we even did a
Yeah.
little, we can part the
Oh,
LA.
no.
And there are some people that you might never speak to again. So Kristi's like my new bestie, although she's in LA and I'm in the UK. Bit of a shame, but one day we'll get together.
One day.
And I'll let Kristi do a little introduction because we're going to talk about something that I think is going to really resonate with so many people. So over to you, Kristi. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. And the feeling is mutual, Zoe. So I don't know if I'm on like a binge or just like, gosh, we have this humongous platform to connect on, and people what I find are so willing lately. I don't know if it's just lately or if it's just because I'm engaged more with the platform, willing to talk and share their stories. And I don't know, I just, maybe people are just, really want to get their information out to the world, and it's just such a great place to connect with people you wouldn't otherwise connect with because of proximity. So anyways, I'm with you on that one for LinkedIn. I'm Kristi Skutvik. SK though, I love that. I'm a nickname type of person, so everybody in my family has a nickname. I have a nickname. My family calls me Keek. Um, so I'm in the consulting world. I have my own consulting business. I've got a family. I've got a dog. I've got other family. And that's who I am. That's what I'm up to. I have a couple people who work for me. And I'm just trying to hold it all together, make it happen, make an impact on the world.
So let's go back to, like, first of all, you have a very magnetic personality and your energy is pretty kind of attractive. So I can imagine that you attract many people that just want to be around energy. I always say be with people who feel like sunshine, because life is so much
Yes.
easier to walk through when you are feeling the warmth of sunshine and you're kind of like, life is good. And I always have that feeling of walk with people who make you feel like that. So you're a sunshine, and I can only imagine that lots of people, gallivant towards you because that's what you offer. Right? So you do consulting. How many children do you have, may I ask?
So I have 3, 4 if you count my big dog, but 3 humans. I have an almost 16-year-old, which is a new phase of parenting. Driving, I'm in California, Southern California. It takes a special human to teach and train a young child to get behind the wheel of a car and drive you. We've had many situations, and I'm learning things about myself I thought I already knew. And then I have a 12-year-old boy who's in middle school, and I have a 10-year-old girl who is going into the 5th grade. And then my dog is 4, but he's like a 100-pound lab puppy. But he's not a puppy. And then my husband, of course.
So I was going to say Ryan is hubby. Okay, so
yes,
family of 5, and there's extended family around that. So Kristi and I were just talking about this because we decided that we're going to talk about how Kristi just said holding it together, right? So now lots of people have family or aging parents, children, whatever going on. But I'm like fascinated to know how you hold it all together, because you make it look very seamless and effortless. And I know that that's not the case. And
that isn't.
and I know that you've just come off vacation, because we just spoke about that. School is about to start again, which is probably one of the most stressful times of the year. And yet you've got a business that you're running. So walk me through a normal daily life of Kristi? Like, what does that look
Yeah.
like?
So there's a couple of things that I'll tell you that are really, really important to me. And this isn't something I've always known, but it's something I've got to know about myself as I get real with myself, right? So I'm in the HR consulting space. Like I coach and talk to people about like we spend so much time at work. You really need to like love what you're doing. And I don't mean like, oh, you're in love with it. I just mean that you really enjoy it, right? Like enough of it, enough of the time, the majority of the time that you're like, this feels good. I enjoy the people I'm working with. I like the work that's in front of me, right? So
Yeah.
you can't walk into work every day thinking, ugh, I hate this. I'm going to struggle through it. It's like my worst nightmare, right? Like that's just not good. And I've always enjoyed HR, but I also like, I need to practice what I preach a little bit. So I've gotten very clear, it probably comes with age too, about like what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, that I'm not for everyone. There are some people I'm too much because my passion kind of flows through in being very direct or really standing in the gap of my opinion of a certain situation. And so it makes people feel uncomfortable sometimes. I've always been really, really direct or passionate about how I feel about something. I think even from the time my mom would say I was a toddler, which can be hard. And now I have one of those of my own that I'm raising. And it's like fascinating to sit on the outside looking in, watching it happen because you're like, ooh, wow, that's strong. It's a
Mirror.
strong
I
cup of
call it a
coffee.
mirror because your kids are your biggest teachers. They've got to be. I don't have kids, so
Oh, yes.
yeah, yeah. I kind of feel like they are your mirror, and it's gut wrenching, exciting, and everything in between those 2 points.
So I birthed like myself, my husband, and my mom in that order.
Right.
So each kid represents one of those people. It's really weird.
Wow.
So anyways, as I've gotten older and further along in my career and I've coached people, there's a few things that I do for me. So, the things that are really, really important and I'm really consistent about are waking up early and working out. I go to a place to work out. Not everybody likes to do that, but it's very social for me. If I can get a workout in, even if it's more social, like working out my mouth than it is like working out my body, like it's life giving to me. um, it is my ability to connect with people in person. We chat about things that might matter, might not matter. It doesn't matter, but it's an hour of my morning that I just get to focus on me. Nobody else is around. It's quiet. There's really no other distractions. And for a while, I had a client that was East Coast based. And so that would cut into my mornings for me. And I started to recognize that, like, if that gets cut into, then kind of the whole day gets cut into. And I haven't done something for me. So I'll say, like, that is almost like the most important part of my day is getting up and doing something for me. And for other people it's meditation or breath work or going on a walk or right. So that um saving, like holding sacred that space, even
Mm.
though it's people are like, oh, it's so early. I go to bed early too, so
Yeah.
it's not
How,
like I'm just like up all day and
but
up all night.
how early are we talking?
So like 4:30 a.m.
Okay, you could see my face now. I'm like jaw is dropped, going, "Oh my god,
But
4:30."
I'm not a night owl by
Okay, so you
any
go to bed at
stretch.
what time? What time do you go to bed?
I mean, if I had my way, I would go to bed at like 8:30. But that's just not realistic. I'll go to bed by like 9:30 or 10.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Put yourself to bed, kids, dog, husband. I'm off.
So, we're getting to that phase in life. It's funny that you say that. I mean, it's summer right now, right? But last night we're like, we're going to bed. And they're all on the couch watching like their phones or TV or whatever. And I'm sure there'll be parents out there who judge me. I don't care. But I'm like, don't go to bed too late. You also have nowhere to be in the morning. So you don't have to get up early. So, like, nobody's on the couch this morning. They all put themselves to bed at some point, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So the 8:30 bedtime is looking more like a reality lately.
Lovely. I love it. Listen, I don't have kids, and last night I went to bed at 8:32
Yeah.
because I was so tired, and I'm like,
Yes.
I mean, I have so much luxury that I don't need to consider other things or people, but
Sure.
I believe going to bed. So someone once told me, I don't know if this is true. I
Yeah.
don't know if I've dreamt it even. I don't know if I was in a delusional state in some kind of trip in Timbuktu, but someone once told me that sleep before midnight has a much higher value than sleep after midnight.
I just read again, like, is it research based? I don't know, but I saw something on Instagram. So that's where people get their news. Me too. Um,
Thank you for everything. Just
but I
do.
just saw something like that, that if you go to bed after midnight, like the effects on your health and aging are like far greater, not in a good way, than if you go to bed before midnight. Now,
Yes.
if I go to bed at midnight, I am wrecked. Like I always people used to call me Grandma Keek because I I like to get up early and I like to go to bed. Like I would be in the middle of like a party happening and I was tired, so I just like kick back on the couch. Like I've
Yeah.
always been a sleeper. I can go hard during the day, but I've always like I never was good as a mom to infants because when I get woken up in the middle of the night, I'm not a very kind person. And so I'm enjoying this phase of life with my kids now, to say the least, because if they wake up, they can put themselves back to bed, or they just put themselves back to bed in general. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. That's
it's not
amazing.
disruptive to my sleep.
Right. So Kristi needs a good night's sleep and she's up early and she needs soul food for an hour. Soul food could be all
Yes.
sorts of things, right? So
Yes.
brilliant. Okay. And so
Yep.
what's your is your husband the opposite of you, or does he kind of match? What does he work for
So
himself or
he used to be more of a night owl, I will say, and then as we've kind of gotten a routine with the kids, he has shifted. Now, not everybody does that. I have plenty of friends who like they are still night owls. They will always be night owls. My youngest daughter is a night owl. She is a creative. She would love to sleep in every day and stay up till midnight every night. I mean, and she's 10. But I just like it's at 8 p.m. when I'm like, my battery is on empty. She gets this second wind of like, she wants to do singing and dancing and karaoke. And I'm like,
dad?
what
Dad.
are you doing? You can go in your room and turn that on. Just make sure you don't wake anybody else up or
Yeah.
me. And but so it's how she's designed. I'm just not designed that way.
Yeah.
And I love that about her cuz it's so different from me. It's just sometimes as a parent really hard to be excited about that when you're just done and they're not. So, yes, I really enjoy sleep and I really really enjoy that hour in the morning. Another thing I've really learned too is that I can say no to things and it doesn't mean I'm bad at what I do. It doesn't mean my clients aren't going to like me. It doesn't mean my clients aren't going to come back for more. So my kids are in schools that are kind of far from our house, and the window of opportunity to take them to school is very small. Um, in terms of years, like my oldest is going to drive in November. And so that those days I'm looking forward to that. Don't get me wrong.
Numbered. Yeah.
But they're numbered, right? And I don't let my kids most of the time have their phones in the car because I feel like it's a good opportunity for them to be forced to sit with me and have a conversation and really no other distractions. And so I'll get up early, I'll work out, maybe I'll come home and work for a little bit, and then I take them to school, and then I really start my day. And so just like, I guess to answer your earlier question, just knowing those things of like, there's a few things that are super important. My kids' ages, they're fleeting. They're going to be off to college. They're not going to want to talk to me.
Yeah.
They're not going to, they're going to be in a different stage of life. And I'm so excited to see that for them. Like, I don't want to keep them little, but I want to pour into them when I have the opportunity and when they're kind of stuck with me. Right. So,
And they
in
still
terms
want
of like,
cuddles.
what's
Yeah.
that?
They still want cuddles. They still want to be on the couch. They still want to be in with mum and dad.
They
That's
do.
precious, you know?
Yeah. And
That's precious.
it won't be forever. Like, there
Mm.
was a last time that I laid down with them in their bed. There was, right? And I I'm grateful I got that opportunity. I'm not needing it again, but I just know enough to know that like this too shall pass, and I will miss it. So I've tried to like integrate how I do work, and how I do things for me into the schedules that they have so I can show up and be there. I just know that that's really important. Like, that they see my eyeballs watching their game, or my eyeballs in their, at their
Yes.
award ceremony or what have you. So I've really been, I guess, fortunate, but also self-created to be able to do that over the last 10 or so years.
That's amazing. And what I heard is, rightly or wrongly, and I think I've got this right, is that your work is kind of structured around your life, and I believe that's how it should be. That's my personal view. Not that you've asked for it, but anyone listening, that
Yes,
is
I
my personal
agree.
view.
Yeah.
And something, I'm the polar opposite of Kristi. So I've never been married. I don't have children. My I'm the complete opposite. So I am no awareness of what it's like to have somebody attached to my hip needing something from me 24/7. I mean, that fills me with absolute dread. I'm sure it has its positives, but where I sit, it feels very suffocating. And on the reverses, it could be very lonely for somebody that comes from, a family that's knitted together. But what I hear is that you've been able to craft your career and still have the career that you want, and that have the passion and love what you want in your business, is around kind of your family. Is what was a driver for you to go by yourself and create your own company? Was that a driver of yours to kind of have more flexibility, freedom?
Yeah. So, I mean, so my dad's an entrepreneur, my brother's an entrepreneur, my sisters are entrepreneurs. I think there's like a DNA component of like, um, I, I want to make the decisions and be the boss. Now, it's an interesting thing to say because I have clients and they're driving what I do, right? Like, we have this mutual agreement, but um there's always been this part of me of like, I'm made for so much more. And if I have an idea, I want to just run with it and see what happens. So I'm willing to take risk. And I remember working in a corporate environment, and I owe a lot of what I do in consulting to what I was taught when I was working in a corporate environment. So I don't take that as bad at all. I learned so many things. I interacted with so many people. In fact,
Mm,
I just hired someone that's currently working for me that I worked with several years ago in that environment. Like, I learned so much, and I did feel put in a box a little bit. So it was like, you will do this thing. And if I stepped outside of that, or I had an idea, or I wanted to be a little rogue, I always, there was something inside of me looking back. I don't know that I always recognized it in the moment. Like, don't do that. Like, no, that's for somebody else, or that's this, or that's that. Or if you want to be promoted, you have to move across the country, or this. And I'm like, why? Like, huh? Like, I'm just so confused as to what this has to do. So I always had this desire. There was this perfect opportunity when I was had my third baby. It was a lot. It was a bit of a circus. My younger two kids are only 2 years apart. My husband worked nights at the time, and I was like, I have a ton of help around me with my mom and my sisters. But I was like, how in the world am I going to do this? It was truly a miracle that I have a friend who is going back. I had a friend who was going back into work full time. She had been in consulting. She's like, I have this client. They're literally right down the street from your house. Um, 6 hours a week. Like, you want them? And I was like, yes. Like, if I don't say yes now, I'm never going to do it.
right.
Um, And so, and I will say, like, yes, I have created this lifestyle and this work, like integrated work with my life. And I will work nights, I will work weekends, I will do the work when the work needs to get done. And so I've talked to many people um, about I think in your 40s, you kind of have this crisis of like, I've been doing this work for so long. I think there's my observation in talking to people has been like people get bored because they might be busy, but they've been doing it for so long, they've almost mastered it and they're looking for something more. I don't know if that's always recognized, but that is many conversations I've had recently because I'm in my 40s and I have friends that are in their 40s, and it's just feels like this topic of conversation. So, what was I going to say about that? I lost my train of thought. Oh, but not everybody is willing
Right.
to do what it takes to be an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. I think on the outside and on LinkedIn and on social and whatever, I was just on vacation last week and it looks all good. And like nobody sees the conversations I'm having at the airport or waking up a little bit earlier before my kids get up on vacation to make sure everything's like okay for the day or whatever, or the Sunday on Sundays or Saturday, whatever, right? Like I'm willing to do what it takes because the freedom and flexibility is far greater than going to work for somebody where I can almost clock out, if you will, which I never
Yeah.
was able to do in the first place, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you think you've ever had burnout?
Oh, for sure. For sure. But
I think.
that's when I'm taking on clients that I know aren't for me. I'm taking on work
Yeah.
I know that's not for me.
Yeah.
And so that's when the burnout happens because when I'm taking on the right clients, if I'm working a ton, but I enjoy it, I enjoy them, um, it might feel like a lot, but it's not. I don't feel my energy isn't stripped.
Yeah, I think that raises a good point. I mean, in terms of the traditional trajectory of burnout, I think it's very, and I'm not celebrating this, by the way. I think that there's a point that a lot of people will go through a period of time in their life where things get on top of them and there are signs of burnout.
Mhm.
Now, burnout doesn't have to be just work; it can be fatigue.
Totally.
And it isn't just fatigue either. It is that there's lots of attributes of burnout and it shows very different in different people. And I do think that I used to look at being an entrepreneur as being solely free, but I've changed my mind somewhat on that because I am never free from work. um
Never.
it's never off. Okay, so like you said, there's an evening, weekend. Now I can control when I pick up my phone, I can
Totally.
control when I respond, and I have pretty much mastered that. In my house, I barely have technology, only what I need to do. And it
Yeah.
stays in one room. It's not, I don't have a TV. I don't have like anywhere else. There's no tech. So that there's no blue light and it's a very healthy environment. And I see them as tools to do a thing, whether it's communicate, activate, deliver, whatever it might be. Um,
Mhm.
but I think you have to have enormous self mastery and enormous awareness of where you are and how you feel. And I
Mhm.
get the sense very much with you, Kristi, that you do know that. Like, I need these things so I stay in check. Because
100%.
if I don't stay together, the three kids, the husband, the dog will all suffer.
And my business and the people who work for
And the
me,
business.
and like it will have an
Every-
impact. I tell this all the time that I coach. The way you're feeling, you think you can shut it off when you get to work because you have these personal things going on. It leaks out everywhere.
Yeah,
Everywhere. And
yeah,
you can think that you're holding it together, right? Like I said, holding it together at the beginning. I have plenty of days. I had a day yesterday, okay? So like I'm not going to blast that out to the world to see. I keep that close to my chest so that I can, confide in the people that are closest to me, that matter to me, that pour into me. But I yeah, it's an all the time thing. I even told my husband this is like I can the reason I enjoy vacation, I mean, other than the obvious reasons of like going on vacation, is that if I don't physically move somewhere, like go somewhere, I really have a hard time shutting it off. It's who I am at my core, right? So it's not like something's wrong with me or like, gosh, you just work too much or you care too much about this thing or that thing, or it's just, it's who I am because I enjoy the work that I do. I truly want to make an impact and have value for the clients that I have, for the people that I support. And so unless I go somewhere for vacation, and I'm not in the environment of my house and my home office, all of that, it is really hard to not just, oh, I'll just answer this quick email. Oh, I'll just do this quick
Yes.
thing. So
Yeah. You
vacation
just said
has become
amazing.
something that I really I want to be intentional about so that I can spend time and be present and do all these things that I enjoy doing with my family.
It's interesting because for a couple of things, there's an old saying which is a change is good as the rest, and I really, really, really believe that. And we're so anchored by our sensories, so we have to remember that
Mhm.
we have an energetic self. I'll call that the spiritual self because spirit is an
Yes.
energy, right? We have a physical, mental, emotional, social self, and all of these parts of us need love and care.
Mhm.
And somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago, and I have chills as I say this, so I say this with much love and respect to all people. Self-care and self-love are very different.
Mhm.
And self-love, so you can have lots of self-care but not self-love. You can have lots of self-care, lots of self-love, sorry, and you're more likely to have more self-care, which is in the
Yes.
activities that you do. But that love is to honor yourself, and yourself
Mhm.
means I need to take up space in the world. I
Mhm.
need time for me. I don't care how many kids or whatever responsibilities. It's selfish if you don't change it
I
up.
agree.
It's selfish for the people that depend on you. And you've just said probably 10 people, 12 people, 20 people that depend on you, their lifeline, right, to some
Mhm.
degree. Your ripple is enormous. It is so selfish not to take care of you.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm like,
100%. 'Cause I
that
was me first, right? Like,
you were
before
you
I was a
first.
m
Yes.
yeah, before I was a mom, before I was a wife, before I was a mom, before I was a sister, before I was, all of these a friend, like, I was me first, and
Yeah.
so I can be the best version of myself to them if I'm still me first, right? And that I
Yes.
agree with you. That doesn't mean, like, I come above all. I mean, there are reasons and seasons that I do, and then there are reasons and seasons that I'm in the back, right? And I'm just allowing my people in front of me to do their thing and pour into them and make their lunches and drive them to school and do all the things that isn't me first. But if I don't do some things that are me first, that will burn me out.
Yeah, totally. And so I know that for people listening to this, there will be some resonance, right? So I
Mhm.
believe that even if people have a different lifestyle to what you've expressed and shared as mine, people listening to this or even watching, somewhere in your body, because your body is your sat navigation of life, it
Mhm.
tells you what's right and wrong, good or bad,
Mhm.
negative, positive.
Mhm.
Somewhere in the body during this discussion, there will be some absolute, like, you will feel resonance. So anybody that's a
Yes.
parent, got a business, if you are struggling like to hold it together, and I know that lots of people this time of the year, as we record this, is in August, and it's holiday season, as in vacation
Mhm.
time. Kids are off school. There's lots of things going on. Parents are tearing their hair out. Can't wait for their kids to go back to school. It's a very stressful time of the year. It
Mhm.
can be for some. And then coupled with maybe financial squeeze and all sorts of things that our environments are pressing us, if you like, it's
Mhm.
really hard to keep balanced and all of these things. So the only job that we really have is to take ourselves into check, if you like, because
Mhm.
you can't look to your kids, you can't look to your dog, you can't look to your
Right.
husband, like to fix everything for me. I need to make
Mhm.
me do me. I come first, and I have to
Mhm.
come first because all of you depend on me. And
Yep.
that is not selfish. And I want anyone that's listening to kind of listen to that again. It's selfish
Mhm.
for you not to take
Mhm.
care of yourself.
100%. 100%. And it might mean sitting on the couch and taking 5 deep breaths to just, like, recenter and slow your heart rate, right? Because 'Cause you're anxious about the day or the things or the bills or I've been there. I and there are there are certain parts of the day that I'm there, right? And then I actually, when I get home from the gym, if my dog's not barking at me and if I have time to do a quick loop with him, I actually have diffusers around my house and candles that I light because it like creates a mood and starts to set the energy. So when my kids get up, like, so that's what I do. Again, people do various different ritualistic things or things
Yeah.
that make them feel good. But
Mm.
I like that takes 2 minutes and it literally I look at the diffuser and I'm just like, right? Like it
Brilliant.
zens me out to some degree. But
And
yeah, even if it's just deep breaths in the shower.
and even like driving to the gym, like you go in the morning or wherever your place of choice
Mhm.
is, even that short commute. So bearing in mind that something profoundly happened in COVID, that thing called the pandemic that like disrupted
The
years of
C
our
word.
life.
It's not
The
cancer
C word.
anymore, it's COVID.
So the big C came, and guess what happened? We stopped this magical commute. Now we were bitching and moaning about commuting. It's whether you want a train or a car, the traffic, the noise, the people
Right.
can't sit. Suddenly there is no commute. The commute is 3 steps between the bedroom and the office or the lounge if you're
Mhm.
fortunate to have an office at home. And suddenly we don't have this breathing space in between.
Mhm.
And now we're not transitioning between an office or work life and
Yes.
home life. And I think that that's something that we haven't truly registered as like, what do you do to switch these two things? So what
Mhm.
you described in terms of going on vacation, it's decoupling. Not only is it work, but like there's laundry, there's cooking, there's the
Totally.
work is never.
Life.
Somebody said to me the other day, I didn't work at all. I did nothing. And I was like, tell me about your nothing. What did that look like? And they were like,
Yeah.
well, I got up, I walked the dog, then I did a bit of cooking, then I had to go and do the grocery shopping. And I was like, and that's nothing? Like, work is not just about paid work.
100 it's like I have friends that are stay-at-home moms, and I'm like, "That's harder than me going to work. That's hard. That is hard work."
I see from the outside and think I have to agree with you that for people that of my experience and that I've interacted, it's been easier to go to work. Like
Yes.
I can just be me. I'm Zoe at work. Like I'm not
Yes.
mum.
Yeah.
I,
Yes.
yeah, I just can do what I know to do, and it's
Yes.
amazing because no one needs anything from me. So
Totally.
I get it. I'm like I
Yeah.
celebrate that, and I think that it's really important that you have to strong boundaries. And the other thing I
Yeah.
was going to say that came to my mind, and I know that you're going to like this, as I put on a bit of lip gloss because my lips really hurt today, and I love it. Anyway, so I gratitude. So
Mhm.
when you can't be angry or anxious when you feel grateful, certainly not
Mhm.
angry. And I think we have to remember that one thing is available to us at any time is our breath. You said it when you kind of said, like, even deep breaths. We have the
Mhm.
ability and capability to just ground and center through the breath. It's available to all of us, and we don't use it wisely. And when
Mhm.
we can start to tap into and follow our breath. So if anyone goes to the beach and watches the waves go in and come out, and they say,
Mhm.
like trancing, I'm like, try doing it with your breath because it's just as easy,
Yes, I
right?
know.
And
There
I'm like,
is a podcast, who is it by? It's like 3 minutes a day. It starts with a quote, breath work, and then gratitude or something like that. Oh my gosh, I'll send it to you so you can put it in the show notes or whatever. I
brilliant.
haven't
What
done it in a
is it?
long I haven't done it in a long time, but it is like I used to put it on as I was warming up the shower and just do it then because I had to wait anyways,
Yeah.
and it was like I need to get back to that actually. It was really great, and 3 minutes.
So
Like, so easy.
everyone needs to eat every day. Everyone needs to take a shower or
Yes.
bath or bathe in some way or brush their teeth. And this is the habit stacking thing. Like, in order to
Yes.
create new things or to start, you don't need to blow up your world in sense of I need to
Totally.
do all of these things. Like in the shower, it's just like I sometimes have to just imagine. I get in the shower and I say, the water's really warm and lovely, and I often just close my eyes and say thank you for
Mhm.
clean warm water. Thank you so much that I have this space where I can shower, honor my body, be clean. Thank you for the time to do this. I'm so lucky that I have
Mm.
really basic things like great sleep, a great mattress. I do
Yes,
this every morning, and I wake up and I say thank you, like thank you, whatever it is. I'm like, thank
totally.
you for everything I have now, not what I might get, not what might be in an hour or so. It's always that. And I find that even that small practice, if that's all I've got
Mhm.
time for, and when I'm preparing a cup of coffee, well, actually, I don't drink coffee anymore, tea at the moment. If I'm having breakfast, or even I can just stand and wait for that
Mhm.
kettle and just breathe and just sink into that. Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you.
So there's this really so I agree with the transition piece of the commute. That was hard for me because I do work from a home office. I go see clients, but um I commuted a lot of my career, and I would call my mom during that time, or I'd listen to a podcast or listen to a book on CD, which, don't have to do that anymore. But and I underestimated how much because all could think about is like, I just want to get home. I'm sitting in traffic, blah, 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 blah. But I underestimated the power of that transition time for sure. And gratitude, absolutely. I was listening to I'm a podcast listener. That's
Oh,
what I do.
by the way, Kristi has an amazing podcast called
Oh,
Vibecast. So I'll make sure it's in here. And we've done
perfect.
one on Kristi's podcast.
Yes.
I need to kind of make sure that's uploaded and a bit more fertilized, because we have great conversation. I think people will benefit from it.
I
So it's a
do
great
too.
podcast that Kristi's got. So just a quick plug. Sorry, I should have
Not
mentioned
only do we
Kristi.
have good things to say, we're fun to listen to, right?
We are. We're fun
Yeah.
because we are, at the end of the day, we've got very different lives, but we're very relatable, because I think lots of
Totally.
people resonate to females juggling a lot. I've got an aging parent, and
Yep.
so quick side note, I spoke about this last week in a video, and I never dreamed that my mum would see it. Because I
Ah,
said, I got a bit emotional and said, like, right now what's important for me is I have time to spend with an aging parent. And being an entrepreneur doing this, I have the time. I can pick and choose, and
yes.
yes, I might not have the money I did in the corporate world, nor do I need that or want that life. That's okay. But I can spend time with my parent, and I have
Yes.
no regrets, none. And my mum listened to it, and she was like, I got all choked up. You were talking about me.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
the
so mummy, if
sweetest.
you're listening to this, I was
'Cause
like, oh, mum.
that means more than any gift you could give her,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah.
is just being able to spend the time. So, kind of on that same vein, I was listening to, a podcast, I'm not sure if I told you about it, called The Telepathy Tapes.
No, I'm
It's
gonna write that down
super
though.
interesting. It's about, this woman, and I'm probably gonna mess it up, but this woman who goes and studies these nonverbal autistic kids that have telepathy. And but what they start, and I haven't finished it all, but one thing that just continues to sit with me and why I talk about it is that these kids are able to have this telepathy because they are so present in the current moment,
Mm.
because they're not talking, they're not thinking about the other thing, they're so aware and present in the current moment that they have this sixth sense, if you will. Now, I don't know if it's everybody, people would probably argue with it, whatever. I don't care. But it's the presence of like their body, mind, spirit, soul, all of the things that allow them to connect differently with people. And I really think in our world, we've become so consumed with like all of the things and what to do next. And I find the days that I'm most present in the moment, I'm actually the most productive, right? Like if I'm not multitasking, doing something, I'm like learning new things, I have like a creative brain that can extrapolate information and like come up with an idea, right? When I'm just simply focused on what's in front of me. Now, that takes work to do that with like all of the inputs coming in and all of the distractions that can be. And for everybody, that looks a little bit different of like how to, I don't know if cope is the right word, but how to like eliminate the distractions so that you can focus. But there's another book, I haven't read it yet, but I was talking to my dad about it yesterday, actually. It's called Deep Work by Cal Newport. And it's the same idea, I think, about like eliminating distractions so that you can really do this deep work. And um, I am not good at this. I also have an entire village of people that help me so that I can. My mom's been in New York and my mom is like my lifeline. Like she helps me with my kids, with my house, with my dog, all of the things. And she's been gone. And I'm like, she comes back today. um,
Welcome back,
so
mummy.
yes. So if anybody thinks like I'm doing this on my own, and I'll be the first to say, I am not. I have a housekeeper. My mom helps with things around the house. She helps drive my kids places. Like I am not doing this by myself. So it takes all kinds, whoever those people are to you, right? I'm very fortunate to live by my family and to be close to them. But if you have friends, if you have whoever, if you need to outsource the things that you just absolutely hate so you can do the things that you truly love, don't be too proud.
Yeah, it's so true. And there's a couple of things I wrote down which presencing. So first of all, it takes a village. I think that as individuals we are very smart and we have a lot of bandwidth,
Mhm,
but we can only go so far on our own. And it does take a village to
mhm,
really have impact. And impact may be bringing children into the world, contributing
mhm.
in that way. I never did. I do it another way.
Yep.
Um, and we cannot underestimate the power of what we bring as an individual, but together and collectively, we have
Yes.
so infinite power. And the thing that you just said there, and again, I have the chills. There is scientific fact around presencing, right? So you said about telepathy. There is
Mhm,
scientific fact. I can confirm that as a transpersonal psychologist. This is what we study. We study presencing, and
mm,
there's actually a change model. Well, it's not really a change model. It's called Otto Scharmer, the theory of you, and it's all about co-sensing, co-presencing, co-creating,
mm,
all about like doing things together. That's a bit of a side note because that's kind of a work thing. But going back to the sensing, so we've got, and this is not gender, and I do talk about this quite a lot. Nothing to do with gender, everything to do with energy in terms of
mhm,
masculine and feminine. And when we balance out as an individual, we can tap into these both energies, and I'll describe them as the masculine as more doing and the feminine as more being. So,
mm,
and
mhm,
we can do, but we have to be
mhm,
to 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 understand, feel, see, sense
mhm.
the activation of all the doing, because sometimes
Yes.
we're so busy doing and doing and doing and doing and doing. We ask for so much. We ask, we want this, we want this, we want this, we want this.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's right in front of us, but because we are
Yes.
still in the doing mode and we are
Yes.
not still enough to
Mhm.
see that the thing that we've just asked for is right there.
Right
And so
there.
I say magic happens in the being. So imagine that
Yes.
you've been working and grafting for a few months and then you go on vacation. You're really stressed about going on vacation because what might happen when you're not in that seat? I can tell
Yes.
you one thing that will happen. Great things will happen when you're
Yeah.
not. You'll get
For
that
sure.
proposal come through. You'll get that signed thing. You'll get, because you've dropped all expectation for that time. Like I'm just now,
Yes.
you're being, and so the magic happens in the being, and that's what I say a lot. Um, and there is science around this. This is not woo
Yeah.
woo stuff. This
Right.
is about, you might call it law of attraction. Some people might say it doesn't exist. Energy exists
Yes.
and it's
One.
measurable and it's scientific. And what we're
Yes.
talking about is an energetic state of being. And if
Yes.
you consider that, I mentioned earlier on that we've got a GPS inside of us because we're made
Mhm.
of energy, we transmit what we're feeling internally. Horses, if you've ever done horse coaching,
Uh-huh.
horses emulate what's going on inside a person. They intricately can understand the inner state of a human, so they mirror
Oh,
it.
wow.
Horses are magnificent in that,
Oh
and
my gosh. Okay. It's weird
amazing,
that you bring this up. So we went horseback riding on our last day of our trip, right?
right?
And it was incredible through the Grand Tetons. So I have this horse called Blueberry. And Blueberry was a little rogue. And now I'm wondering, as as you're saying this, like, if everyone was gonna go right, if there was a path where you could like the defined path was right, but there was like maybe a little path that would go left, blueberry would go left. My blueberry. If there was a bush to go through, blueberry would go through the bush. I'm like, what is this horse doing? Whoa.
Right. So there's a lot in that, and maybe there's a second podcast that we can do just
Yes.
around. I've got so many stories around this. I've got a phenomenal friend who owns horses and
Oh,
taught me a lot through
wow.
horse coaching when I lived in Germany. And Monique Reneman is her name. So I doubt she'll listen, but if she did, Monique, we need to have a discussion. So because horses can teach us a lot, they're innately intelligent creatures,
Wow.
and they can teach us and show us insight, like to work on the inner, because we've got an inner world and an outer world. And I always say
Mhm.
the inner world is what we need to cultivate, and the outer world will match the inner world. If
Mhm.
inside is turmoil, the outside will only become
Yes.
turmoil,
Yes.
So that is a whole other
I
discussion.
know.
And I feel so grateful that we've had 45 minutes together,
I
and
know.
our session
I
is
know.
coming to the end today. But wow, I'm gonna reflect on this conversation, and I truly believe that no one has their shit together entirely. No one.
No.
Not all
And
the
if they
time.
tell you they do, they're lying.
And they're probably the ones at risk of having the most prolific kind of like meltdown.
Meltdown. Yeah.
Say because honestly, I no one has it all together. Despite what you see on any social media, despite what you see, everybody comes with an insecurity, and I don't
Yes.
believe that no matter how much work you do on the inside, there is always opportunity to do more, to learn, and that being a
Yes.
forever student of who you are, because you're changing and growing and evolving
Oh,
all the
yes.
time.
And
And
becoming more aware of who you are and what your likes are and what your dislikes are. And, people change over time too. So my husband and I were having this conversation of like, maybe friends that once were, maybe aren't, or maybe friends that weren't now become, are those people that you need to surround yourself with in this season. It doesn't mean like you have to attach to it forever, or it's,
yeah,
like there are reasons and seasons, and like
and
just
forevers.
take a deep
And I
breath.
say this,
And
there are
rivers, yes.
seasons and forevers. And you're right. I have a plant analogy, and I must put this out there because I did this
Do
about
it.
10 years ago, and I have a very, very strong resonance with plants. And
Mhm.
here's what it is. If you're an orchid or a cactus or a shrub, you exist in very, very different conditions. You
Yes.
need orchid is delicate and needs certain moist driven,
Mhm.
shady conditions. A cactus needs dry, barren like
Yes.
kind of conditions. Yet a shrub can go through all sorts and can hold,
Mhm.
but doesn't really like any one thing for infinite. They're not,
Mhm.
they're not like a cactus or an orchid. So if you understand, when you go to a nursery, as you might say in America, garden centre if you're in Europe or maybe England, you go and you go to your
Garden
plants.
sounder sounds so much better.
Oh, garden centre, and you go to
Garden.
these plants, and it has this little stick in it that says how much shade,
Yes.
water, conditions it likes, and if it likes a certain soil type. And I'm like, our job in this life is to create this for ourselves.
Mhm.
So then we know how much we need and what we need, and just go put yourself in that
Yes.
soil, in that environment where you will thrive. It's that
Yes.
simple.
Yes. I know. And don't be afraid. Like,
Yes, if you are an
walk into
orchid,
it with
own it.
abundance. Yes, own it.
Absolutely. I'm a shrub.
Mhm.
I'm a
Yeah.
shrub, without doubt. So
Gosh, I'm
I
gonna have to think about what I am. I don't know. I might be a cactus because sometimes I can be prickly.
okay, but this is very food for thought. So I sense another conversation about this too.
Yeah.
What kind of plant are you? Like, how do you go on the road to discover what plant you are?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's only one way. You've got to go through a few rabbit holes. You've got to go kiss a few frogs, and you've got to
Mhm.
take the learnings and keep yourself like, if it doesn't feel good, don't flip in do it.
I know. I know.
So,
I
moral of the
know.
story today, Kristi, you're a delight because I love it that you tell it like it is. I know why I love you and adore you already because you are of that ilk, and I love that. So, thank you so so much. You're doing amazing, and one day we'll meet in person, and I'll
We
meet your
will.
and I will meet your husband, and I will be like, what a lovely family, and you're
Well,
doing
we want to
magic.
go to Wimbledon next year. So maybe, just maybe.
Just
I'm putting it out there. Like, I don't know
yes.
how we're going to get there, but I'm putting it out there. I keep talking to people about it. And then it's like, the plans take shape once you start to speak it into existence.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's also add on to that and do a little bit of a manifestation rant as we come to a close, which is, so there is an intention for Wimbledon 2026. Maybe
Yes.
somebody listening to this has connections, or somebody can sponsor Kristi's show, for example, and give her some
Yeah.
and
Love
bring her
that.
family over. And maybe there is somebody here that is a client that could become a client of Kristi's that absolutely has privileges at Wimbledon. Just saying.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Right?
Yes.
You don't
Yes.
need to know how. All you need to
No,
know is it's almost like it's done. It's done. We're going.
we're going to make it happen. I know.
We're going to make
I
it
know.
happen.
I
I
love
don't know how.
tennis.
I don't care how. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
So thank
Exactly.
you. Oh my gosh. I know
Thank
that you
you.
spent so much time with me. So if you have liked what you've heard on our chat today, and bearing in mind that it's unscripted, it's unedited, it's unfiltered, we don't make any changes. I put a little blurb of how you can get in touch with Kristi down the bottom here. Click on subscribe because we love it when you share content. And we don't mind that we're not for everybody. We don't mind. We know
No,
that we will reach the people that we love and will love us, and that will create this enlightened
100%.
energy. So thank you for listening. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Kristi.
Thank you. I'm super grateful for you. Thank you so much for having me and just allowing me to.
Oh, look, there's even hearts. Oh my God, I didn't know that would happen. If
Can I
you
do
can't see
that?
this, but there's hearts flowing on the screen in front of us. So, yeah, you do it. Let's see. You've got to hold it there long enough.
Too
Oh,
prickly. I'm too prickly for a heart.
cactus. Cactus is prickly. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.